back to Her Crown, where we are all about growing in our faith, growing in our relationships, and growing as women. Tonight on Sipping Tea with Jesus, I will be talking a little bit about flirting and what that means, and if we should do it as Christians or not, and all that. So, for the record, when I was first doing this video, I was going in the complete opposite direction of what it is I'm getting ready to say. So, if you're like struggling to really kind of agree, then you don't always, nobody has to just agree with what I'm saying. But if you're struggling to kind of just understand or kind of have an open mind to what it is I'm getting ready to say, then I understand, because I was on the exact opposite end, and I was like, what? Okay, you're probably just overthinking it. So, no hard feelings or anything at all, but I'm just sharing what I feel God is leading me to share. So anyway, so just to get started with, I'm just going to start off with the definition of flirting, and we'll go from there. So flirting is flirting is to behave as though attracted to or trying to attract someone, but for amusement rather than with serious intentions. And I guess I never really had any reason to look up the definition of flirting, because I mean, I just assumed I knew what flirting was, but I never looked at it as showing interest with no intentions, like with not being serious. And then I was like, okay, let me go a little bit further. I'm gonna look up the synonyms to flirting, and maybe it'll be kind of what to back up what I felt I should talk about. And of course, the synonyms were like tease and to lead on. And I was like, what? Like in my head, I'm just like, since when? Since when was that the definition? And I could be the only one who's never really looked up the term flirting in Google, because I just assumed I knew exactly what it was. And this dog, wow, it's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. So, oh my goodness, ew, that's nasty. Anyway, so I never really looked up the definition. I had no reason to do that. So when I read it, I was just shocked that that's what it was. And I was just like, what are you? Okay. So I'm like, that is the exact opposite of what I want to do. Like, I don't want to show interest with no intention. Like, I don't want to just be out here flirting with any and everybody for no reason. So I just started to think about courting and what it means to court. And I knew that, and I know that whenever I receive the man that God has for me, that our dating process is going to be courting, because courting is my definition is just dating with an intent to marry. So it's literally like the exact opposite of flirting, because flirting was showing interest with no intentions, which is fine if you like do that. I'm not judging or anything. I'm just saying it's the opposite of courting. Like, and I was just shocked to read it and to really understand that the difference was like just so clear, at least to me. Because okay, like growing up, when I never was really taught how to date properly, so that kind of led to my history with men. I kind of did things the way that God was not pleased with and would not be pleased with. We won't get deep into that, but basically just doing things the wrong way, just living life of sin, like for real. So when I came into like my early 20s, I started to look up courting, because I was never taught about it, so I didn't really know what it was. So I looked up courting, and I knew that I wanted to do that with the man that God has for me. So I started to think, okay, so how can I date in a way that God is pleased with? Like when I court, like how do you do that? Like what's too far? What's not too far? And I didn't know. So I began to like really just look up different ways. Of course, YouTube videos, I would look and see what people thought and all that. So now it's just like, man, I don't, like here this new phase of where I'm at with dating. I don't want to date in a way to where it's meaningless, basically, is what flirting is. And I know this may be hard to grasp, because first of all, I went over this like multiple times. Like, okay, God, this is not really, I'm not really grasping this. Like, I'm not even understanding this, and I'm supposed to be talking on this. And then, so it took me a minute, but now I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that I don't really want to flirt. And just because you're saying you don't want to flirt doesn't mean you don't want to show interest. I'm just saying I don't want to show meaningless interest. I don't want to show interest with no intentions, and he is not like leaving at all. So yeah, basically that's it. So if you can kind of agree or understand, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but if you can understand a little bit what I mean and kind of where I'm getting at, look up the word. Okay, this is what I had to do. Look up flirting like on Google or whatever, and look at the definition, and then just kind of read it over and over again and see if it sits well with you. If it sits well with you, that's fine, because we're all different. Everyone's walk of life is different. But if it has you kind of question, you just feel like, oh, well, maybe that's not really what I want to do, then hey, then I mean, great, that's good. So if you are like me, to where you always thought the term flirting was okay, and but now you're kind of thinking, shoot, well, maybe that's not okay, then I just have like 3 tips of ways that you can just show interest to men, because this is from a woman's point of view, to men, just to show that you're interested with intentions, with being serious with your intentions. So the exact opposite of what flirting is, which is so weird for me to say, because I'm telling you, I used to always say that I could always flirt well, so to say. Like I always just thinking now, like when I used to go out to bars and stuff like that. I mean, I don't do that no more, but I used to like really go out to bars and just do too much. I was always the one walking around just talking to people and not having a problem with talking to guys, and I don't know, and that was just, oh my goodness, that was just me. So now it's like to even be on this side, I mean, it's just so weird, but whatever. So if maybe you don't know how to interact with men or in a healthy way, or you're not confident with it, or you don't know where to even start, I just have like 3 just tips that came to mind when making this video, because maybe there's people out there who don't know how to interact with men. Maybe you just never had a date. Maybe you never had a date. Yeah, I'll just fix that. Maybe you never had a date or something like that. So, I think the number 1 would be to compliment him. Like if a man has pursued you, and I feel as though a man should always pursue the woman. I've tried pursuing men like literally all the time, and I always felt strange and weird when doing so. Like I just felt convicted. So to say, I don't know, that's just me. So I know I won't be pursuing anyone ever again in life. That's just me now, because I tried here recently and it was just off. I just felt off, like I said. So if someone has pursued you and you are interested in them as well, and maybe you feel nervous, maybe you don't know exactly how to really get to him that you like him, because you don't know, you just kind of overthink everything, like I used to do. I used to overthink everything I replied with next, like the butterflies of knowing if what I said, if he's really going to respond and all that. I don't know. If that was just me, then hey, whatever. But first thing should be like, just compliment him. Start there. Like if he's pursued you and you are interested and conversation's going, like don't be afraid to compliment a man. I think men really enjoy, and it makes them feel good if you compliment them. I think kind of now, or just in society sometimes, like women, we are kind of entitled with expecting a man to always tell us that we're beautiful, or that he just loves the way we look. And I know if we don't get the reassurance we need that he loves the way that we look, then we're kind of questioning if he's interested and all that. So you never know. I mean, that's not really a healthy mindset to have, but I mean, it's real. You never know if a man is just wondering if you're even like attracted to him, and if you are, like let him know. Like you can say, hey, you look well, this is probably virtual because I mean it's pandemic, so if you're social distancing, that's great. But let's just say, for the sake of health reasons, that we are doing all this virtually, then yeah, let him know that you like his style, you like the way he looks, anything. Like just make it light. Don't be all serious and make the man like afraid of you, but like just do that. So compliment him. I think it's very important to compliment a man, because they want to feel good too. It's not just us women who should be receiving compliments. Like, so don't be afraid. Because I just don't see it to where he's complimenting a man and he's going to say, no, don't do that. That's not okay. Like, I don't know at one point if that's ever happened. That's just crazy to me. So, but I'm going to just really reassure you that it's probably okay to compliment him. Number two would be to check in on him. It's like, I know when I used to date and all that back in the day, not back in the day, but you know, I would always expect the guy to message me in the morning. Like, I don't know why. It's like, my mindset was, well, if he wanted to talk to me, then he'd talk to me. Which, like, that is true, but sometimes he just wants to see that you came to his mind, that he came to your mind that morning. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, and I probably am not the only woman who has had that mindset. So it's okay to check on him, ask him how he's doing. If you can tell, if you just can tell, like, he just seems off with his he's not on his regular pattern of texting. Maybe he's had an off day. Maybe he is busy with work, and so maybe, like, later on, just ask him if everything's okay. Like, you never know. Maybe he doesn't think that you would care about his problems. Maybe it's soon in the conversation. Maybe he's really needing someone to talk to, and he just doesn't want to tell you so soon. Like, it's like, just take that risk and ask him how he's doing, like, and just be sincere with it. And I know that's simple, but, like, some women, we really just don't ask, and we should get used to that, because whenever you're married one day, or if you already are, I mean, you should be checking on your husband now anyway, and vice versa. He should be doing the same for you. So yes, whatever. Last one is just to reassure him. You know, reassure him that you are still if you are, like, only do this if you really are. You know, we're not trying to flirt and do stuff with no intentions. But if you are actually interested in him, like, reassure him. Like, sometimes men need that reassurance as well. I know for me, I am someone who needs that reassurance. And I haven't really dated in a godly way yet, because I mean, I just haven't dated. So it's like, whenever he comes along, whoever he is, I don't know if I'll need that reassurance as well, because I feel as though I'll just know that he's from God. So in my past, I always needed reassurance. I always just needed to know that they were still interested. But I feel as though, this is kind of going off topic, but it's okay. I feel as though whenever he does come, I'll know. So, but there are times to where, like, men, they want to know that you are still interested in them. They want to know that, you know, guys are kind of reciprocating the same feelings, that he's not just the only one who's, like, really interested and really feeling something. So if you are on the same page, let him know. Like, I don't know. I just think it'd be nice to know, because I feel if a man were to say, hypothetically, I met the guy that God has for me, and he let me know that randomly, without me even asking, that, like, how he felt about me in this moment. I would love that. Like, it would be nice to know that, especially if I felt the same way. So as women, like, we should be okay with doing the same thing for a man, like, really letting him know that, hey, you know, and I'm not saying do this, like, as soon as you start talking. This is probably more so like maybe a month or so. I don't know the exact. Do it whenever you feel the need to do it. But, like, I would say more so in, like, a month or so. Like, reassure him that you like the way that the process is going, you're really interested in him, and you would like to see how things go further. But, I mean, that kind of goes into pursuing and all that. Like, I don't know. Just have fun with it all. It's not supposed to be, like, super, like, overthinking. I know I overthink everything, and I would always kind of just question every little thing I said to a man. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think it's supposed to be light, and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's not supposed to be something that stresses you out every day, like dating, courting, and all that. Like, I just don't believe that process is supposed to be like that. So, in general, me personally, I don't think flirting is something that we should be doing. And if we're speaking on what the definition actually says, basically with showing interest and having no intentions. That's just me. I think there's other healthy ways to show interest and all that. So, if you are still watching, because this was kind of a interesting topic, and I promise you, when I was going to do this video, when I received, like, when I felt God was telling me to do it on, I was going to do this video as, stop it, spider, as, yeah, it's okay to flirt. And I was just going to give healthy ways to flirt. But then as I began to really read more, and that was before I even got the definition of flirting, I was like, wow, this is crazy that God, you're really switching it up on me. Like 5 minutes before I start. So, yeah, I get it if you really aren't grasping, but that's okay because we're all different. And, you know, that's all good. So, thank you for watching, and excuse Spider, who has been in this video. I'm dog sitting, and him and my dog Sandy, I have to separate them during the video because they were making too much noise in the hallway with their playing and growling and snapping at each other. So, just whatever. He's a baby. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for still being here if you are. As always, follow me on Instagram at hercrown__. You know, I changed the days of the Let's Really Find Out videos to Tuesdays. I have it to where on Sundays I will actually begin teaching at my dad's church, like just 2 Sundays out the month for his youth, and I am nervous about that because I have never really taught. This is like my first thing to walking in my purpose, these videos, so it's like now, like, oh my goodness, okay, I'm getting ready to speak to the youth. So, all good. So, on Tuesdays is when the Let's Really Find Out videos will come out, and yeah, enjoy your weekend, and have a blessed month, because this month is still going, oh my goodness, this month is still going to be powerful. It's springtime and all that. So, yes, thank you again for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday.